I think most people agree in today's music landscape that the best way to get yourself out there is short form content. Now, I know it can be really hard to try and differentiate yourself or find ways to come up with some fresh ideas. So today I want to take the load off of your brain and give you 30 ideas that you can use to get started with your short form content strategy. The list of all of these ideas will be in the description, so if you want to grab them and turn them into a checklist, feel free. And without wasting a moment, let's hop right into these ideas.
Number one is a unique production trick. I've done this with some of my content where I've shown how I use a plugin or how I've done a unique production thing. A good example of this is using the LFO plugin in Ableton to attach that to the end of an EQ to create some movement across, sound beds or pads or things like that. It's just a quick little tip that I screen captured on my computer and overlaid me talking and shared with the community on TikTok and Instagram and all the socials. Number two is show something interesting that you did on a client's song. A good for instance for this is I took a ukulele, hit the back of it, and turned that sound into a snare for one of my client's songs, this really ambient like cinematic pop sound. We really needed something hollow sounding, so I just created something. So showing that you did that you made that, can be a really cool indicator of you just generally being creative, or might spark some new ideas for some other people to try new things. Number three is showing a before and after of working with you. Someone who does this really well is my friend John McLucas. He'll have the original demo on one side of the screen. He'll have you listen to a little bit of that, and then he'll have another version that's the final version with the album art and kind of shows you going from the original idea and then what it became and what it turned into. Number four is a weekly release showcase. I love doing these, especially when I have a lot of projects release all in the same weekend, but you could batch this monthly. You could do this, whenever you have enough to talk about. I suggest doing 3 songs at a time and then making a video just saying, here's 3 songs that I worked on that dropped this week, and then letting the song play and then what you contributed to the song, tagging all of the artists that are in that video. And not only promotes your artist's music, but also promotes what you contributed to the artist's music. Number 5 is really fun. It's sampling a short form video into a song. This was really popular in like earlier YouTube, where people would find a viral video and then sample it and like remix it and stuff. And I think we could do the exact same thing on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, or TikTok. We download some video that's doing really well and then like sample it or remix it into something super fun. It just showcases your ability to be creative with something, but also tacks on to the virality of something that's already super popular. Number 6 is fully produce out an acapella. Sometimes you'll have an artist put out an a cappella version of one of their songs, and you can go find these and download these and then reproduce using that a cappella a new version of the song. I've done this a couple times and it's turned out really well. You gain some followers, and also you kind of get to show your chops on somebody else's song, what your version of that would be like. Number 7 is share how a hobby has impacted your work. This is something I don't think we do enough as producers, is get kind of personal and vulnerable with some things. Share the things that you like outside of music. People will relate to you more, but also it kind of shows that you are doing other things rather than just sitting in a cave and only dwelling on musical things. If you have a hobby, if you like anime, or if you like reading, or if you like playing basketball or whatever, like show how a thing that you enjoy helps you create better music. Number 8 is share your successes. I feel like this is something that we don't do enough also, is just be proud of ourselves that we did something cool, we did something big. I think just doing a simple phone in front of your face video of, hey guys, we landed a Spotify playlist, or we got on this radio show, or we landed a sync deal or something. I think that is something that we should be stoked about, and that other people will be stoked for us. Even just sharing that is just a cool thing to do, regardless of trying to gain any kind of traction. I think it's just being stoked about the things that you work on. People are going to really vibe with that and connect with you over that. Number 9 is share free plugins. This is something I've personally done a lot of over on TikTok and on Instagram, both. It has grown my followers a lot. I think that there are so many great free plugins out there that people just don't know about. What I did is I did a series of videos where I would share 3 great free plugins, at least plugins that I thought were really cool. And I did that, I believe, like 10 or 12 videos in a row, and it was super popular. One of my most viewed videos on TikTok is one of those videos. I believe it's about 40 or 50,000 views, but it's more about just sharing a cool thing that you think that people should know about. Number 10 is share free samples. If you have a really cool sample pack that's free that you think people would enjoy, share that with people and kind of show a little bit of what's in it. Or if you have made your own free sample pack of samples that you use a lot and that you've made yourself, share that with people as well. I think both of those options are really great options. Number 11, share a clip from a podcast that you were on. I think people like hearing good insights. Podcast formats are really popular right now as well. So if either you are on somebody else's podcast, see about getting that footage or grabbing it offline and clipping it out for yourself, or if you have your own podcast, clip out a different part and share it only on your content to also promote your show as well. I have a podcast called Home Studio Hangout. Me and my friend Josh talk to a ton of producers. It's been super fun to have all of those people on there, but it's also been great source of clippable content for me personally, where I can just go clip out a section where, we had a great conversation and I get to share that on my personal feed as well. Number 12, in the same vein of the previous one, clip a YouTube video that you were in, whether it's one of your YouTube videos or if you were in somebody else's YouTube video, whether it's behind the scenes footage, being a part of a project that they, showcased on YouTube. I think that would be a really cool way to grab some footage, clip it out, shoot it over into a short form version and, do some extra promotion that way. Number 13, tell a story about your most successful project. This one seems pretty self-explanatory, but I think it's really good to showcase why people should listen to you and what you're saying, especially if you have had a really successful project. Talk about what it was like working with the artist, talk about how well it did, talk about some of the cool things that you did in it, harkening back to a couple other of the things on this list. Talking about specifically your most successful project kind of gives you a little bit more validity in the eyes of the people that are just going to find you. Number 14, share something you learned from somebody else. I did this early on when I first started posting content on short form platforms. It actually did really, really well. I shared a clip from a interview with Victor Wooten and Corey Wong on Corey Wong's show, and it did really well. It's still one of my highest viewed short form videos, top 3 at least. I just put a phone at my face, talked about it a little bit, flipped my phone around, hit play on my computer, showed the clip playing off of my computer, talked about it a little bit more, and that was kind of it. But I think sharing knowledge like that is really important. We can learn a thing, listen to a podcast, watch a cool YouTube video, and then share it with people. It also doesn't have to be a video or some sort of content. It can also just be a conversation that you had with somebody and just talking about that conversation. Number 15, mime playing one of your songs. This is super popular with producers like Maddie Beats or Kato, where they will fake play through one of their tracks that they've made, whether it's an instrumental or it's a song that they've already released. And it just kind of shows a visual with the song and puts it in front of more people. I wouldn't think too complicated about this. I would just enjoy it, try it out, find some instances of this working really well, and try to replicate it.
We'll get back to the episode in 1 second, but if you're a music producer and you've ever struggled with getting new clients, projects taking too long, maybe getting a couple of clients, but not being able to turn them into repeat regular clients. I've been a music producer for 10 years and I've gone through all of the struggles, all of the pain points, and all of the lack of client months, and I would love to help you learn from my mistakes. So if this sounds interesting to you, check the link in the description to book a one-on-one coaching call with me. We can look at anything from how your productions sound to getting new clients, and I'd love to help you out. Let's get back to the episode.
All right, we're halfway through. Let's keep on pushing. Number 16, collaborate with other producers or singers on a video. My friend Matthew Parker does this really, really well, that whenever he collabs on a song with somebody or co-releases a song with somebody, him and that person will create content together and they will put it out together. And that just kind of makes the content go a little bit further. But also in another instance, me and my friend Shama have actually done this a couple different times where he wanted to create a video and I helped create some sort of remix or audio to go with it. And we've collaborated on that post together as well. And that kind of pushes me a little bit more. Number 17, Q&A via replies. So taking replies on a video and responding with that reply, if it's a question, with another video kind of answering that question. Whenever I posted a video that did pretty well about interfaces, I had a lot of questions in the comments about different interfaces or why you would need certain things. I replied with a series of videos kind of addressing each of their comments. In those, replies, created more content based on that. It was simple, just like phone in front of face, talking to camera, turning on captions. Very, very simple, nothing crazy, but it helps you create more content. It helps you create easy content as well. And it answers questions in your community and the people that have questions. A lot of those people will drop replies or comments or whatever and never get an answer, and so they just kind of get left in the ether, or they get bad information. And I'm in the business of trying to mitigate bad information as much as possible. Number 18, Q&A via DMs. So it's really easy, especially if you're doing a podcast format or if you're doing a short form format, is screenshotting a question that you get in your DMs and clipping it down and showing it on screen and answering the question. It's very similar to the replies, but it's just grabbing the questions from DMs. Number 19 is talk about records that influenced you and why. This is coming back to showcasing who you are as a producer, who you are as a mixer, who you are as a person, and creating some relatability. Man, people just don't want to work with a blank slate of a person. They want to know what you enjoy. So show them what you enjoy. Show them the thing that got you to where you are, why you enjoyed this sound, a band that got you into a certain genre, or a artist that taught you something. Number 20, do a studio tour. This can be as simple as just holding up your phone and showing your space and talking about the stuff that you have. If you don't have a lot of stuff, I think that's honestly even cooler. Talk about the things that you do have and then show the kind of music that you're able to make in that space. For instance, this is a songwriting space that I've set up with my friend Shama to shoot videos, to do songwriting sessions in. We can track well enough to get an idea across and maybe even do a little bit of final tracking in here as well. Showcasing the space that you work in can give some people different ideas about what maybe they can do in their space, or, a small piece of gear that they're like, oh, that's really cool. Or, a workflow thing that they may have never thought of. Number 21 is a day in the life video. This can be as simple as you just grabbing some footage throughout your day as a music producer or a mix engineer and, doing a little bit of voiceover, such as, today we're going to walk through a day in the life of a part-time mix engineer, or something like that. That just showcases your day. It's cool. It's personal. It's showing your life. It's showing your personality a little bit more. Number 22 is what I call a come to a session video. Similar to a day in the life video, but it's when you have a specific session. This works really if you're like a producer or a tracking engineer or a songwriter, where you're like, come to a songwriting session with me. And then you show you going through the day, having the session, grabbing some footage of the people that were there, maybe even tagging them in the video, just showing what it's like looking at a songwriting session or a production session. A lot of people have probably never been in these kinds of sessions before. So it would be really cool to just show them what it's like, or maybe you do it a different way. Kind of talk about the way that you guys do your songwriting sessions a little differently. Number 23, share some of your favorite production memes. Everybody loves memes. That's pretty self-explanatory. Number 24, kind of similar to 14, but talk about an interesting conversation you had with another producer or artist. Remember a conversation that maybe impacted you and share that conversation with the world, especially if it's not recorded, especially if it's just you having coffee with somebody, trying to remember it, write it down, make a note for yourself to go back and remember that, and just, turn on your phone when you get in the car after you've had the meeting and just talk, share some of the insights that you gained. Number 25, share the 3 most plugins you use this month. Now, I know for a lot of people, this might be the same from month to month. Because I produce and mix, I'm a little bit in between things a lot, and it kind of depends on where I am in the project. So my plugin choices will change kind of significantly from month to month, especially if I get a new one and I'm trying a new one out. I think it would be really cool to just showcase some stuff that you're using. People might enjoy seeing different plugins. I always love learning about different plugins that people are using all the time. In a similar vein, number 26 is talk about a plugin or software that you're interested in trying out. For instance, Oak Sound just put out a new plugin. I'm super interested in trying that out. So maybe talk about, what it is and why you're interested in trying it out, and see if anybody else has used it and get some recommendations if it's worth it or not. Number 27 is share an unpopular or controversial take that you have. Explain why and see how people feel, if they agree with you, if they disagree with you. Just kind of sparking a conversation around a topic is always a good time. Number 28, add value to others' content via stitching or remixing. I love doing this because I love when people start a conversation and have a take, and then I'm able to give my 2 cents, either disagreeing or agreeing, and why. And it just kind of furthers a conversation. Now, to be fair, we don't need to be attacking people or being aggressive about people's takes and calling people dumb or anything like that. But you need to say, I disagree, here's why, or I agree, here's why. And maybe some personal, experience that you've had with what you're talking about can be massive in giving credence to what your opinion is. But be careful and don't be mean, please. Number 29 is an open verse challenge. You see this a lot on TikTok, but you also see a lot on Instagram now more recently. And it's where you'll have a hook, the hook will end, and where a verse would normally start, you just have the instrumental playing, and people can download that, put their own spin or their own verse, write their own verse, and showcase their talent on your song. It's a really cool way as an artist to promote your song, but I think producers underutilize this, and producers can make their own track with just an open verse, give artists the opportunity to just hop on it and try something on their song. And maybe you find a good collaborator that way. Kato did this. He's just a producer. He's not an artist, but he's done this on some songs that have turned out to be some really cool songs. Just a beat that he's made. Somebody sang a hook or rapped a verse over it, and they've connected and collaborated and put out some really great music that way. And finally, number 30, share your favorite music from a piece of media. This can be TV, film, YouTube video that has been made. Some of my favorite music have come from remixes from an Andrew Wong, 4 Producers, 1 Sample video. You could also talk about like your favorite soundtracks. You could talk about anime openings. I know a lot of people have opinions on favorite anime openings, maybe breaking them down or just talking about why you like them, and maybe you have some nostalgia for them or something.
There you go. I hope those 30 ideas are helpful in getting you started in your short form content journey. If you are interested in more conversations like this, you should check out this episode of the podcast I did with Seth Goodwin, where we discuss all things YouTube, all things content, content strategy, and client acquisition. If that interests you, you should check out that episode.